table by the window, the view casting shadows, the sun was pushing through. Spoke a lot of words, I don't know if I spoke the truth. Got so much to lose, got so much to prove. God, don't let me lose my mind. Trouble on my left, trouble on my right. I've been facing trouble almost all my life. My sweet love, won't you put me through? Everywhere I look, I catch a glimpse of you. Said it was love and I did it for love, did it for you.
Come to pass, or will I pass the test? You know what they say, yeah, the wicked get no rest. You can have my heart any place, anytime. Got so much to lose, got so much to prove. God, don't let me lose my mind. Trouble on my left, trouble on my right. I've been facing trouble almost all my life. My sweet love, won't you put me through? Everywhere I look, I catch a glimpse of you. I said it was love, and I did it for love. Do it for you.
Trouble on my left, trouble on my right. I've been facing trouble almost all my life. My sweet love, won't you put me through? Everywhere I look, I catch a glimpse of you. Said it was love, and I did it for love, did it for you.
Good morning and welcome back to the Trailer Park. I am Chanda-Masta, and of course that was a Cage the Elephant cover of Trouble. This has been a troubling morning for me. I came into the studio and gremlins came in the middle of the night and ripped out my sound like always. But Oz, you'd be so proud of me. I had a 30-second meltdown of, oh shit, what am I going to do? And then I just went and recaptured it and brought it back in. So I am learning. You have taught me that. I hear you guys are having a crazy morning too. Let's get these chats in. How's my sound, since I didn't have sound when I got here? And I don't even think that it's where it's supposed to be, but let me know if it's good. Hey, Popeye, congratulations to your son graduating, and I hope they walk out too. I'm so proud of all these kids around the country that are giving up something that they've strived and worked for 12, plus years. It depends on if they're in high school or if they're in college, and they're walking out. They're not doing their commencement walk. So, you know what? They say the children are the future, man. It's not these old ass Zionists. I can tell you that. Let's see. Did we launch on the Rokfin and Rumble? Let's see. How are we this morning? I can't tell because nobody's talking over at the Rumble. Rumble, you guys are so quiet. Why? Why are you so quiet over on the Rumble? I'll never understand that. What's up, Rokfin? Rokfin, I don't know if the Rokfin launched either. Jesus. Really? Is this where we're at today? Okay, I see us on Rokfin. Okay. Welcome to the chat room. Okay, it's Wednesday. You guys know I have a doctor's appointment, my first doctor's appointment in like 10 years. I'm going to actually go see a doctor, and he studied under the one and only Dr. Fauci. So yeah, I'm excited for that, but I'm going to go get my blood pressure taken care of. My blood pressure is fucking insane. I won't even tell you guys how bad it is because I know you guys would have a total meltdown. What's up? What's up, Rebot? I who is that in the chat? Victory Jen. Oh, Victory Jen. Okay. So the Restream bot is actually working in the YouTube chat. That's mind melting. You guys know I'm having the worst time with the chat. Let's see. Kate's in the house. Kate, you traveling? You got weak signal? I love the pictures. Love the pictures. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Hey, Peace Dove. Sounds great. Thank you, Peace Dove, for letting me know. And yeah, I'm having a morning like you, man. Nothing was going right. Like, let's hope we turn this day around. Wednesday's not supposed to act like Monday for sure. Of course, Popeye's in the house, and Snorky Y2K. You're on vacay too. Everybody's on vacay. And thank you, Snork, for the email. I got it, and I was on top of that. We're actually going to talk about that today. Metal Martin, hola. Why do you not have a wrench? Here, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. And there you go. Dodge your wrench. And, I've got a big show. I got to be out of here by no later than like 10 after 12. So that way I can walk my ass up to the bus to get to my doctor. So, yeah, let's just get started. We got lots to talk about. I'm going to put this up. No, I don't want that one. I want that one. I'll be popping that up on and off during the show so I can keep track of the time this morning. And I want to say a huge thank you to all of the fams that keep the lights on at the trailer park. And I mean, you keep the lights on. I took 3 different cards to cover my power bill today, but it was all donated. So thank you for keeping the lights on in the trailer park. If you want to help me eat, you can donate. All of the donation links are in the description box, and there is my Venmo. I am Trailer Park Pundit, and my Cash App is money sign Trailer Park Pundit, or you can buy me a coffee at Trailer Park Pundit also, or PayPal. PayPal is probably the quickest way to help me out, but we all got our issues. And fair use, we are on YouTube this morning for what it's worth. These are just my opinions, my speculations, my commentary. If you're interested in anything I talk about, please go out there and do your own research, because I merely scratch the surface and I just pique your interest. I want you to go do the digging and the learning, right? Because you're a fool if you do your own research, we're being told lately. Wow, that button's so weird. Sometimes that button's there, sometimes it's not. Okay, well, we got lots of crazy stuff going on. So we're just going to get started. Frickin' State Department, the Biden administration says that it does not view the killing of Palestinians as a genocide. Not a genocide at all. I'm going to shout out the chats, but I'm waiting for more people to file in on Wednesday mornings. Monday mornings, you guys are here bright and early with bells on. Wednesday mornings, I don't know. I don't even know if Wednesdays are really worth it for me anymore. I put a lot of work into Wednesdays, and I get low numbers. Hey, Mastermind, what's up? Old Man Baker's hanging out. Who else is here? I got Mastermind, Popeye. Anyways, we'll shout out the chat halfway through the show. We'll let it build up a little bit. And it doesn't matter because I just lost the chat. There we go. Okay, let's hear from this fool. The State Department fool. This is Jakey Sullivan.
We believe Israel can and must do more to ensure the protection and well-being of innocent civilians. We do not believe what is happening in Gaza is a genocide. We have been firmly on record rejecting that proposition. We have paused the shipment of 2,000-pound bombs because we do not believe they should be dropped in densely populated cities.
Oh, just
we are
now
talking
you're
to the
thinking
Israeli
that.
government about this. We still believe would be a mistake to launch a major military operation into the heart of Rafah that would put huge numbers of civilians at risk without a clear strategic gain. The president was clear that he would not supply certain offensive weapons for such an operation were it to occur.
That it doesn't line up with
And then he runs.
And
then he runs. He's like, fuck that, I ain't answer any questions. I'm just going to put it out there. We don't think this is genocide, and we don't think that they should be dropping bombs on very densely populated portions of Gaza. Like, what the fuck? The whole thing is densely populated. You're just now coming to that conclusion 7 months, 8 months after the fact. This is just the little things that Biden's throwing out there in order to try to fix his fucking poll numbers. We've seen his poll numbers this week. I didn't even bother to bring them because we all know his freaking numbers are in the toilet. They were in the toilet before the start of this, right? And and we've seen he's lost the Great Lakes states, right? Like, so this is the state, Biden administration telling the State Department, well, let's make it look like we're really upset about the amount of casualties and that we're doing something to stop it. Because in the end, they're really fucking not, and we know it. And besides that, I brought you guys the video from Bibi on Monday where he said, suck a dick. I don't care if you guys support me or not. We're going to do what we're going to do. And they already have the weaponry. We already gave them the bombs. So yeah, I don't see this changing. This is Dan Kovalek. Who is this? Biden lied about Rafah being a red line. The slaughter goes on with crucial U.S. help. Yeah, I'm not sure who this is, but he's right. Biden did lie about that red line, right? The State Department wanted to pretend that there was a red line. There was no red line. We won't even call this a genocide. Let's hear what he has to say.
So I want to talk today about Biden's so-called red lines.
Yeah,
he's been saying for quite a while that he opposes any assault by Israel on Rafah, and in particular any ground invasion, and in particular any full-scale ground invasion of Rafah by Israel, and even suggested he could cut off arms shipments to Israel if it engages in a full-scale ground war on Rafah, and he's already at least paused one shipment of very heavy bombs, 500-pound and 2,000-pound bombs, to Israel. And so one would come away from this thinking that, oh, wow, Biden's actually doing something to stop Israel here. And I think, sadly, as much as I wish that were true, I don't think it is. Israel, as we speak, is bombing Rafah massively. It's been bombing Rafah, by the way, for months. So the attack on Rafah has been going on for months. But now it's really intensified since Hamas accepted a ceasefire deal. And then
pretend
Israel
ceasefire
balked at that. And they began a massive bombing of Rafah, even more than they had been doing. And by the way, they're bombing all of Gaza. They're telling people to leave Rafah, go to parts of Gaza City, but they're bombing those parts too. So it's a wholesale slaughter. Meanwhile, there are some ground troops of Israel in the area of Rafah, in particular in this Philadelphia corridor, which, by the way, they're not allowed to be in according to the Camp David Accords. This is the area on the the Gaza side.
We follow no accords.
The border with Egypt.
Accords are you
They're not
talking
supposed
about?
to be there according to the Camp David Accords between Israel and Egypt. They're there anyway, and they're there attacking Palestinians. So where's the red line? Well, when are the arms shipments going to stop from Biden? Because really, the Israelis are doing what he warned them not to do. But he's going to keep sending the weapons. He's going to pretend he cares. He's going to pretend he's in conflict with Netanyahu. But it's going to be sadly business
Pretend he's in conflict with what that Israel's government is doing. Pretend that he is against Netanyahu. We know that's what this is. And those 200,000 or 200,000 bombs. They need those because they are the bunker busters, right? And Hamas is in tunnels, and so that's why Israel really is pissed that he slowed this one down. But he didn't stop it. We know better. We fucking know better. I was going to bring you this on Monday. It was breaking Monday when I was live. And of course, that is Israel Army opens fire on the UNRWA vehicles in Rafah, wounding one of its workers. Yeah, they don't care. UN workers, whatever. We'll fucking shoot them too. Guess you shouldn't have been there. Oops, our bad.
هذه السيارة للأونروا تم إطلاق النار عليها من قبل الاحتلال الإسرائيلي المتواجد شرق
The vehicle is clearly marked. Clearly marked UN, all over it. You're telling me the IDLF did not know that that was a UN vehicle? And they travel in convoys, so they knew, and they just don't give a shit. They don't fucking care who they kill. They answer to nobody. Absolutely nobody. Somebody tell me who the IOF answers to. Because they don't fucking answer to nobody. At the end of the day, they don't give no shits about the ICJ court. They don't give no shits about ICC. They don't give a shit about the UN. They don't give a shit about the U.S. They'll do what they want. Benjamin Netanyahu has made that very damn clear. Right as I was going to air, there's a story breaking that in Ukraine, one of the oppositions has been shot. Now, he was still alive when I went live, or when I took off this morning. I don't know. Has there been a report that he died? He was gravely wounded, it sounded like. But could that be the straw that, breaks the camel's back and ignites World War III? We saw this during World War I, right? Franz Ferdinand. So you just never know. And of course, he was very outspoken and voted down the WHO's pandemic treaty that they're trying to shove down all of our throats at the end of the day. So I will be keeping an eye on that. And let me know if we get word that he passed or not. Shot in broad daylight, man. Oh, God, these guys, this makes me so sick. It makes me so fucking mad, right? You hear even from the left, that's the Zionist left, like, well, let's send aid. We'll send aid. We'll bomb them. But hey, we're Americans. We'll give you aid. But it doesn't matter how much aid that we send to Gaza right now, because it is not getting into Gaza for multiple reasons. Mostly the IOF is blocking it, but not just the IOF, the everyday fucking citizens of Israel are bringing their kids out to have a good old heyday of tearing down and tearing apart these aid trucks. Check this shit out. This is just insane. The amount of hate that these people teach their children, and they're supposed to have the moral fucking high ground. Look at this. How is this the moral high ground? Take my flag and stomp on food that kids could be eating that are starving. Oh. I never want to hit a kid, but I want to slap the shit out of those parents. What if your child was fucking starving and living in a tent and being bombed and you were waiting for aid? God, there is no humanitarian. There is no decency. I am so sick of fucking hearing that these people have the moral high ground because they're God's chosen fucking people. If you're truly God's people, you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't starve innocent children. Oh, but they're not innocent, right? Isn't that what Alan Dershowitz wrote in his article the other day? No babies are innocents if they're born Palestinian. He had the audacity to fucking write that. Harvard Gaza encampment ends after administration agrees to meet. So after nearly 3 weeks, students dismantled their tents amid demands including disclosure of school financial ties to Israel. Sadly, Harvard, maybe you shouldn't have torn down your tents till after you saw the financial ties, right? I don't know. I kind of feel like they got duped on that one, but good to see that Harvard's actually gonna show them some financial disclosures. But come on, it's Harvard. We know how dirty and corrupt Harvard is, and where they get their money. Let us not forget Jeffrey Epstein and how much he funded, for Harvard. Gross. At the end of the day, all of these major universities, like Sabby Sab says, are just a fucking bank, and they're trying to get money from whoever will give it to them, right? I mean, that's why rich people buy wings on campus for their kids, right? If you enroll my child, I'll buy you a new science wing. That's the type of fucking quid pro quo that goes on with these guys. We'll see how long Harvard, you could always put your encampment back up. It's that easy. Just throw it back up. Let's see. What's going on there? Okay. Come on, save the world like in the movies. Come on, right? Because we've all been taught that our whole entire lives. America is the good guy, and we always will have the integrity. And at the end of the day, we're here to bring you democracy, and we're going to save you. Yeah, that's in the movies that are casted by the CAA and controlled by the CIA. And that is why we do a segment called Hollywood Go Fuck Yourself. But anyways, let's hear from Glen Greenwell. Israel blocking aid. So this is about Israel blocking aid too.
You can see here at that border crossing, these extremist Israelis, settlers, occupying land illegally under all international law, who are attacking these aid trucks.
This is so gross. Grown-ass men starving children.
A bunch of Israeli men just stealing packets of food and other assistance from these trucks. They're breaking them on the ground. They're stomping on them while they wave Israeli flags.
Even though they can go to a restaurant and order food
and destroying as many of them
5
as they
miles
can.
away,
You can see the truck
they
there.
are
This was all
starving.
taken off the truck by them, sabotaging and ransacking the aid truck. This is not. There's no bombs here. There are no weapons. It's just food stuff.
Just hateful
and they're
people.
smashing it on the ground with a lot of violence, with a lot of aggression. Obviously, these are extremists. They're celebrating. They're dancing up and down. And now here is another video of the similar boarding crossing that contains a video showing similar acts.
חדש, עדכון, תרים היום, תראו מה זה עם שהוא לא פראייר.
You hear one of them narrating what they're doing?
They are evil, hoppy stuff.
And they're showing all of the
You gotta
destroyed
have
food
some
packets.
serious,
A bunch
dark,
of it is spilled on
black
the ground.
fucking
Remember,
soul
the World
to do
Hunger
this.
Organization, headed by Cindy McCain, wife
Cindy
of John McCain, one of the most
of course,
steadfast
Cindy.
supporters of
Cindy
Israel,
sending
in
aid
all of
and
Congress,
bombs, but
has
aid
said that there is
too.
now famine all throughout northern Gaza and in Rafah as well. And here are aid trucks that are trying just to bring rice and food. You see the rice or the sugar just all over the ground in the bags that have been opened and thrown off the trucks and destroyed by these extremists. So again, this is not a question of whether Israel should pay for this. This is not coming from Israel. It's coming through the West Bank, which is not part of Israel, even though Israel occupies it.
Yeah.
Here is Yanam Magal in a report earlier today. He said, quote, a truck delivering aid to Gaza was set on fire in Mount Hebron, which is part of the West Bank. And then here on social media, there is a photo of the truck on fire with Hebrew writing, and the translation is, quote, a torch for the hostages from Negahot, which is
Because they
the
give
Israeli
two shits
settlement
about the
in West
hostages.
Bank.
They could have had the
Now,
hostages
we've shown
back
you
months
before,
ago.
Video of the independent journalist Jeremy Lafredo, who went to the West Bank and asked the people of the West Bank, Israeli settlers, what they think about the people in Gaza and what they want for Gaza. And we'll just show you a couple minutes to get a sense for how hateful and extremist and even genocidal a lot of these people are. What are we trying to do? We're trying to block the aid trucks from crossing into Gaza. This was when the aid was still coming in through the passing in the Egyptian Gazan border. And they were having hordes of Israeli extremists going to that checkpoint and blocking the trucks from entering, also using violence and sabotage against these trucks, while the IDF stood by and protected them and encouraged it and permitted it. This, again, was food entering the Gaza Strip, when World Health Organizations are all saying the people of Gaza face famine. And so Jeremy Lafredo went to the West Bank, went to this border crossing, and he asked them what they're doing. And obviously, most of these were in Hebrew, and you see the translation on the screen. What are we trying to do? Says one of them, to block the aid trucks from crossing into Egypt. And from Egypt, it will go to the people of Gaza and to Hamas. It will help Hamas. It's very successful. Look, the aid trucks are supposed to be entering Gaza from 10 in the morning today, and we are blocking them from entering. It's been days since any aid trucks have passed through, so there you have it. It works. I think what we need, I don't know, we need to be united and kill all of them.
Wow.
Now this to me, maybe it's just me, seems to be a lot more dangerous and a lot more destructive and a lot more malicious and a lot more impactful than anything a bunch of 19 and 20-year-old protesters on college campuses have been doing in the United States.
Glenn.
These are people who are saying we want them all to die, not Hamas, we want them all dead. And as a result, we're blocking food sent by international aid organizations and the U.S. government and other governments. We will not permit them to enter Gaza, and they're physically blocking them because they said they want them all to die.
Oh, that's so terrible. Glen Greenwell doing amazing work, like always. You cannot question Glenn Greenwald's integrity. I'm sorry, you can't. You know, we've seen people come and go. We've seen people fuck up and do face plants. Glenn, he sticks to what he's here to do, and that is to tell you the truth about what's going on, around the world. So that's why I will always bring you Glenn Greenwald clips. Oh, this is so fucking terrible. So this is an Israeli soldier who confirms that he's killed 13 babies. And he takes joy in explaining to you how he cuts their heads off. Yeah, if you're eating breakfast, you might want to look away on this one. I don't think they show anything, but it's still vile and disgusting.
Head and cut his head.
How many Palestinians have you killed?
I told you, 13.
How long were you in Gaza?
82 days. How much did it take to take off this vest and clean on the Palestinian baby's blood? I killed like this, like he took a baby head and cut his head.
Oh my God. Criminal. That is a criminal who needs to be tried for fucking war crimes. Oh, so terrible. Let's see. George Carlin says it always has been. War is rich old men protecting their property by sending middle class and lower class young men off to die. Yes, that is war. War is a racket. Smedley Butler told us a long time ago.
Head and cut his head.
No, I don't want to hear you again. What is this one? Oh, this is another one where this was Saturday morning or Sunday morning. Let's see. Source is Sputnik, where they say that there is no genocide, that this does not fall under the terms of a genocide. Well, I brought the U.S. code right here that pretty much lays it out that, yeah, this is genocide.
Thank you.
You just heard Secretary Blankin explain the administration's policy. He says Hamas absolutely does not abide by international law. Israel is inconsistent with international humanitarian law, but he stopped short of saying they're violating weapons sharing agreements. Does this make sense to you?
No, it doesn't make any sense
Tom
at all.
Cotton.
Margaret.
I forgot this
like
was
a
Tom
bunch
Cotton.
Weasley, mealy-mouthed politics.
He's a weasel.
He said it's reasonable to assess. He said that like 3 or 4 times. It's like he was coached to say that as if it was some magic talisman to help them walk the political line they want between the pro-Hamas wing of their party and the vast pro-Israel majority of the American people. The report that they put out Friday night after news deadlines passed was very clear. There is no evidence that Israel is violating international law. All civilian casualties in Gaza are solely the responsibility of Hamas. In fact, Israel is probably doing more than any military in history to avoid civilian casualties.
What? Okay, so Israel is doing more in history than any other time in history to avoid civilian casualties. Do you believe that? Just by looking at your Twitter feed. You know what I saw this morning? I saw a child, probably 8 or 9, with its head hollowed out. Head hollowed out. Only part of the face was left. That's just in my normal sipping my coffee, scrolling freaking Twitter feed. Are you kidding me? They are not doing anything to avoid human casualties. That's the goal, and we know it's the goal. So, yeah, the first step of changing is becoming aware of your own bullshit. We are so full of shit in the West, and yeah, there's the code right there, and causes seriously bodily injury to members of that group. Let's see, permanently impairs members of that group, subjects groups of conditions. Let's see, a life, physical group. Yeah, I mean, they're violating all of these. Transfer forces children of the group to another group. That one right there, right? They're pushing them out. They're transferring them from one group to another group. This is exactly this. And the Republicans, you know, I don't know. Do him and Lindsey Graham share a fucking a brain? Because it seems like they do. This is so gross. So we see all these monsters out there rocking, right? And we're gonna get to the Antony clip, and I got a real treat for you. But let's start out with this one first, because this one's vomit worthy also.
What they ought to do is evacuate up there on the hill and get a great big missile and blow that wicked dome of the rock plumb off of the spot where it's standing right now, so we can get that third temple rebuilt and usher in the coming of Jesus.
Oh my God. I love the keys, like, oh, we're just gonna blow up that freaking temple on the dome, and Jesus will come. Jesus will come. You know, I reported to you on Monday that the Vatican is putting out new guidelines on Thursday. No, Friday. On Friday, I want to say it's, I think, the 17th, about apparitions and false prophets. Basically, they want you to know the difference between an apparition and what was it? I don't even remember the wording on it, but it's so insane. And you know, they haven't updated those. The Catholic Church has not updated those guidelines since the 70s, from what I understand. So, are they getting ready for Project Bluebeam? Probably, because really, seriously, all they have to do is drop one bomb on that dome and then throw some projector of some dude hovering in the sky, and half the fucking world is going to fall to their fucking knees and think it's Jesus. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I'm not wrong. There's that many people that live in the religious dogma globally. And so, yeah, this is a good, perfect setup for them, right? I mean, we've been taught our whole entire lives, once that dome falls, Jesus is coming back. And don't think for 1 second that they don't have every single bit of that new temple, the third temple, planned out. They've already got the materials bought. They've already got the design laid out. They already have got everything down to the fucking tablecloths and silverware that the third temple is going to have for the, you know, second coming of Jesus. So would it actually be the third coming of Jesus? Because Jesus was born, and then Jesus died and came back. So that's 2. And then if he comes back this time, that'll be 3, right? So it'll be the third coming of Jesus. Anyways. Missing small government Republicans. Yes, those are missing. And missing anti-war Democrats. Yeah, those are missing too. Crazy how many were missing, right? Don't support the Uniparty, but we don't. My chat's so great. You guys already know. Okay, here you are. So this dropped yesterday afternoon. This is Antony Blankin hanging out in Ukraine, rocking out to some Neil Young, right? So I brought you the original, but then I brought you some spoofs. God, he can't even sing. He can rock out. Yeah, I don't want to take a hit for that one. But I'm just going to say, when asked about this, Antony Blankin said he's not a big fan of death metal, but he fucking loves genocidal metal. At the end of the day, that's what he's rocking for. Yeah, government, I would like to unsub. Please unsub. So our friend Charlie ZXI, as soon as this dropped, they went in, they re-recorded, and they had it to me within, I'm not even kidding, 15 minutes. And they literally sought me out because they know I'll play it on my show. So let's hear the new version of this called Killing in a Third World. That's what he should have been singing.
Genocide. Keep on killing in the third world. Keep on killing in the third world. Keep on killing in the third world. Don't matter, it's the third world.
Ugh. Keep on killing in the third world. That's what they're singing about. Excellent work, Charlie. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're making us laugh and you're educating people while you're at it. Let's see. I had to turn my sound up for that, so I'll turn down a little so I'm not blowing your ears out. And yeah, this is so fucking gross. Just to be clear, though, Neil Young is the biggest shitlib ass licker and has been. You know, he loves to sing about how he didn't sell out. Fuck, he sold out in the goddamn 80s. I remember a comedian making fun of him back in like 85 or 86 for being a fucking sellout. So they knew he was a sellout back then. He's even more of a sellout now, right? But make sure you vote for Biden and get your jab. What didn't he want to lock us all in FEMA camps or for the people that were unvaccinated? I think he did. If I remember right, there was some crap that he pulled where he was trying to get people locked up, right? Oh, but they fight for your freedom. They're fighting for your freedom at the end of the day. I love this video clip. This is the epitome of David versus Goliath. This is a Palestinian rock taking down a frickin' IDF drone. Check this out. We need more of this. Oh. Damn good shot. Here, we'll play it again. Damn good shot. See what can happen if you have a good slingshot? Yep, definitely get me a good slingshot. Okay, we finally got the chats moving. Let's shout out the chats real fast. We got Mastermind, of course, hanging out with Cobra Commander Hamas, our heroes. Catalytic Centaur, good to see ya. Vic, hi Vic. Kill Your E. Grey Gross is hanging out with Popeye and Metal Martin, welcome. And let's see, I've been throwing a few wrenches out there. If you're new in the chat, give me a holler. I'll make sure you got a wrench because, hey, this is democracy. Everybody gets a wrench. We ain't playing that hierarchy game here. And let's see, I got P-Stuff. P-Stuff's hanging out. And Kate made it back. Good to see you, Kate. Mouse SF, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning, everybody out there. Okay, I think I caught up with that chat. We got Hipcar and Jim hanging out over on Rokfin. Let's see. Got to get over to that chat. And who else is... So we got Lynn. Victory Jen's hanging out. Lynn's hanging out. Fred Edwards. Fred has been sharing my clips for 4 years. My show every time it goes up. Thank you, Fred, for being one of the hardest workers supporting us. And, of course, Hempcar's hanging out along with Jim. And let's go check the Rokfin. Mr. Worthless Eater. Good to see ya. Mr. Worthless Eater. Yeah. Yo, you suck, Blankin. Absolutely, right? Absolutely. Okay, moving on. I know I'm moving kind of fast this morning, but like I told you guys at the beginning, I have a doctor's appointment. I need to be on a bus by 12. I got to be leaving the house by like 12:30, no later. So we're going to push it today. This is CNN coming to the party about 70 years too late, but definitely 7 months too fucking late on this. And they think that they're breaking some whistleblower, Israeli whistleblower tells the truth about Israel prisons. Yeah, we've known. We've been telling you this for fucking years. People like Abby Martin and Glen Greenwell have been telling you this. But now, since it's coming from CNN, now you can believe it.
Away from the military facility near the beaches of Tel Aviv, one young Israeli army reservist agreed to speak about scores of detainees at Sedi Taman. He says are kept in cages or pens, constantly shackled and blindfolded, many for weeks on end. We've hidden his identity and voice to shield him from prosecution.
We were told they are not allowed to move and sit upright. They're not allowed to talk or peek under their blindfolds.
And what happened if they did do that? What kind of punishments were meted out?
We were allowed to pick out problematic people and punish them, having them stand with their hands above their heads
Abu
for an unlimited time. If they didn't keep their hands up, we could zip tie them to the fence.
The Israeli military says detainees are handcuffed based on their risk level and health status. But the account tallies with photographic evidence obtained by CNN of Palestinian detainees inside Sedi Taman.
Look at that.
And with hand and wrist injuries shown to
Same
CNN
thing that cops
by
do here.
dozens of Palestinians released back into Gaza. I was zip-tied and blindfolded, says this former detainee, and tortured in a way I never imagined. One source telling us the restraints were so tight they had to amputate a man's hand.
The view that I've heard
they had to amputate a hand.
That, how do you think Israeli hostages are treated by Hamas?
This sentiment was voiced in the facility. But I think that if Hamas is so abominable, which I agree with, then why use Hamas as a bar? It's a descent into dehumanization.
That is so gross. You know, put some stripes on those gray sweats that they're all wearing, and it would definitely be reminiscent of, I don't know, some Holocaust camps. Just my opinion here. And this is a great observation. Vote all you want. AIPAC already won. Gritty is the way. You are 100% fucking correct. It doesn't matter what we do. AIPAC owns your government. 100%. And even if we get a few people elected that don't take AIPAC money, they'll just take them out the next election cycle. So don't have any delusions that your voice counts, which I know our chat doesn't. I love this post. Damn it, wrong one. A Palestinian woman who lived under Israel's occupation for 30 years fed all of the students at George Washington University Gaza encampment last night. And you know, this reminded me of Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers always said, look for the helpers. If you got a terrible situation, terrible things happening, just quietly look around and look for the helpers. And there you are, looking for the helpers. Taking those life lessons that Mr. Rogers taught me to heart, for sure. And I want to profile people that are doing good things because, gosh, we look at so much negative all day long, every day, right? Let's see. I got this one from Oz. Oh, Oz. Yep. That's about the half of it, isn't it? And thou shalt not kill unless the government tells you to and you just following orders. Then it's totally cool. Yeah, that's what Jesus said. Yeah, I'm sure that's what Jesus said, right? I don't know. I've gone into this really weird freaking place with religion. Like, okay, so I had bulked religion for most of my adult life. And then I fell down a bunch of fucking rabbit holes after 2016 and realized all these motherfuckers are Satanists and, you know, into the occult. And so then it kind of re-energized my like, oh, okay, this is a battle of good and evil. And what side do you stand on? Obviously, I stand on good. But now that that's 8 years ago, right? I've done so much research from then. I just absolutely think that religion has been a lie. It was a way to control the masses. It's it's a patriarch hierarchy. And I think that when you understand history, which most of Americans don't have a fucking grasp on history at all, the Bible, once you realize that most of those stories were told in other civilizations pre the Bible, they were ripped off. Most of those stories are all fucking ripped off. So there was this group called the Carthers. Yeah, the Carthers. And they think that religion has been duped at a mass level and that Lucifer and Jesus have been switched and that Jesus was actually in Eden. Like, I don't know. There's some crazy shit out there. Go check it out. Like, it's called what are they called? The Carther. I think they're called the Carther. So now I just like... I don't even believe in any of this anymore. I believe we are stuck in a simulation. There might be a multiverse, and God, I hope there's not a fucking multiverse because I don't want to keep reliving this shit indefinitely, right? Oh, who wants to keep coming back? I had a friend tell me, don't go into the light. When you die, don't go into the tunnel. If you go into the tunnel, you're going to get recycled and spit back on this prison planet. You want out of here? Go up. Go up. Don't go into the light. I was like, okay, I'm going to try to make my brain remember that when I die. You never know, though, right? What do you guys think? These are just my crazy thoughts, right? Nobody actually knows the truth, so it doesn't really freaking matter at the end of the day. The Illuminati think they know the truth, but I don't know. Maybe not. And let's see. What do we got here? Breakthrough news. I don't condemn Palestinian armed resistance group just like I wouldn't condemn slaves shooting at their plantation masters. Oh, Pierce Morgan's going to get taught a lesson. Let's hear.
100 journalism professors at elite universities across the country are asking the New York Times to review their investigative reporting on October 7th. A lot of what we heard are lies. You don't talk about that on the show. Israeli media has reported on a lot of those lies too. Moreover, Piers, If you're going to say what Israel's doing is a response to October 7th, then could October 7th perhaps have been a response to what Israel's been doing to Palestinians, which nobody was covering on October 4th or October 5th or October 6th? What I hear here is no empathy for people undergoing a genocide. And I'm sitting here and you're asking me to condemn people who are fighting for their survival. I don't condemn.
Look at these
Palestinian
freaking
armed
insane
resistance groups, just like I wouldn't condemn slaves shooting at their plantation masters.
Look, she's shaking her head.
Apparently,
Okay.
A lot of you would.
I'm going to tell you,
rebellion. I
Rania,
wouldn't
I have to
condemn
tell you,
Geronimo. I wouldn't condemn the
Rania.
Irish fighting the British.
That was awesome. Love watching them get burned down in real time. All three of them got burned down in real time. Judy, you've astro traveled, or what is it called? Astro traveling. Yeah. You know, I'm scared. I'm scared to open my chakras, and I'm scared to, because here's the thing. I deal with enough evil entities in my life. I don't need to go find more. So I know. I'm like, oh, maybe I should stop meditating. I'm going to end up on a higher plane. I don't want to deal with anything that's on that higher plane. That's just my take on it. But yeah, I absolutely believe it's true. The CIA knows it's true. That's why they have designated so much time and energy into it, right? When you start going in and falling down the rabbit holes of what the fucking CIA's been doing, yeah, you realize, oh shit, it's real. It is real. Let's see, what is it? Oh, this is Amsterdam. This isn't in Iran. This is Amsterdam 2024. Imagine beating up your own citizens so Israel can carry out killing children. This is truly astonishing. Absolutely stunning to see this in our lives. 2024 has been the year of absolute destruction and brutality. I agree. Let's watch the oinkers beating people down. So tough. So tough. Somebody needs to boink them. Where's your water bottles? If you're a journalist and you're standing behind the cops taking pictures, you are a chicken shit establishment frickin' fool. Oh, I got no use for journalists who hide behind the fucking cops to get a good shot. We've been on the front lines many fucking times, and you know who's standing behind the cops journalist-wise? CNN, MSNBC, Fox, let's see, Washington Post, any of those types, they hide behind the cops, right? True indie media is in the middle of that frickin' pile right there. So gross, so gross. The Cathars are a form of Gnostics like the sentence. Yes. I don't know a heck of a lot, but what I do know about what they believed really melted my mind. It did really melt my mind. Like, oh my God. Well, and if you think about it, they say that the Old Testament was wrote by the devil. And that not the New Testament, but the Old Testament. And if you think about it, what kind of evil, vengeful fucking God is in the Old Testament, right? I mean, I didn't want this show to get all religious, but these are just things like, why would your God want you to sacrifice children? Yeah, it makes no sense to me. And what they say kind of makes sense. So maybe we'll do a show on it one of these days, because I got a ton of clips, and I watch a lot of those type of people because, hey, you got to listen to everybody, right? To get a good perspective. That's the way I look at it. So this is Bill Barr and Bill Maher hanging out together. And, I'm not a huge Bill Barr fan, but at least he pushed back against this liberal ass licker here.
With the kids demonstrating for Hamas, they are in with the terrorists.
They were for the Palestinians.
Well, it's sort of the same cause. Why, are you?
I'm on the side of the kids.
Yeah, that's easy to say. You know, no one wants to see kids
Yeah,
dead.
that's easy to say.
This is a war.
That was very brave of you to say that.
This is a war. No, I'm the one who's actually brave on this.
I'm the one who's brave.
Pat yourself on the back.
It's easy to say I'm for the kids. Who's not for the kids?
Well,
it comes down to real hard-nosed decisions. Like a country.
Stop talking like you're a general.
A country got attacked. Israel got attacked.
I'm not saying that they didn't have a right to go back. I'm just sitting there going like, how do I look at what?
We're the only country in the world that they get attacked, and then as soon as they counterattack, it's like, well, we got to stop this shit now. Don't attack them. There's a very simple solution to all this problem in the Middle East. Stop attacking Israel.
Hey, you
Stop
just solved
attacking
it.
Israel.
You just
I did.
solved it.
I actually
I like
did.
ministry.
That's fantastic.
Anyway,
All right,
we don't need to get onto
go
that.
Let's go to Russia and the Ukraine. How do you solve that one, Bill? Let me hear your hard-nosed decision about that. Well, let me ask you a question. How is war still legal? All the shit that's been canceled.
Legal.
Why is that still fucking legal?
Weapons
Would you like a real
manufacturers.
answer to that? Because
That's how.
For something to be illegal, you have to have the capacity to enforce it. And you can't enforce against war, or else you have to go to war with the country that's going to war. And we don't want to go to war with Russia.
We are
over
the country
Ukraine.
that goes to war.
What would be the sense of making it illegal?
No
That's
other
really gonna
country
stop
needs to go to
Putin.
war
No.
if we're
To
not bullying
stop
them.
people from going to war, you have to also put
You can't
boots.
sit down and talk it out. Why can't Putin do a podcast with the head guy? Like, you just solved the Middle East
'Cause
on
the
a podcast.
CIA
Why
would be
can't
there?
they solve what they're doing on a podcast?
This is why this is not your thing.
Make some hard-nosed decisions.
This is why this isn't your thing.
It is my
It
thing.
isn't your
This
thing.
is not
It
your
isn't.
thing.
You're like that guy
Playing
that
the-
has a fantasy football team and thinks
no,
he's a
no,
fucking
no,
GM.
no.
That's exactly what it is. Like, why am I fucking listening to you like you've done something? What have you done in?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, Bill Burlick's asked to. Right. Well, and that is the whole point of the blockout 2024, right? These guys, if you're at that level, that means that you're willing to either not have an opinion or play stupid like he is, right? I mean, I love that he's pushing back against Bill. Bill, what an idiot, right? Who would enforce it? Obviously the CIA. Who do you think enforces shit now? Yeah, absolutely. So gross. And let's see. Americans who can't afford groceries watching all of their money being sent to Israel and Ukraine. Yeah, that's how we feel. It is, definitely. Fee says, we got a good Fee says here. Okay, so everybody says that these protests are funded by Soros. So Fee went and did a deep dive and actually looked at the records for the Soros groups, right? Because there's a couple of them. It's not just Free Society or Open Society. There's a couple of other ones. So I brought you kind of the gist of it. And yeah, there is no evidence of any payments recently, any donations recently, but you can go back as far as, 2016, 2017, 2018, and they're really going after the Jewish Voice for Peace and the money that they've taken from the Open Society. So let's hear what Fee has to say about it. And make sure you guys are following Fiorel Isbell. She's doing amazing work on the ground in Russia. Do you know how hard it would be to give up your whole entire life in America and go to Russia, especially in these times? I commend Sister Fee so much.
Propaganda machine to control the conversation and narrative around the protests. So we are asking the question of, are these protests legitimate, instead of asking, why exactly is the United States of America funding and supporting genocidal wars of a foreign nation? And why should U.S. taxpayer money go to this? See how that works? Now, from this analytical perspective, these attempts serve to discredit the logical and rational objection to war, genocide, and mass murder. Now, why would George Soros, a lifelong Israeli supporter, a Zionist class oligarch, fund a movement that diametrically opposes everything he believes in? A potential answer could be that in funding such campaigns and attaching himself and the stigma associated to him, any such movements would be discredited.
Good point.
Or perhaps it could be something as simple as funding both sides of the conflict in a typical problem reaction solution
Rothschild
style,
move.
as the ruling class is known to do. The truth is that U.S. American protests are co-opted, and that is a fact. They've even been co-opted for years by the intelligence apparatus, as well as inner chaos agents and inner discord, and broken up from the inside. Just look at the Black Lives Matter movement, Occupy Wall Street, and even as far back as the Civil Rights Movement, including the protests against the war on Vietnam and environmentalism. This is just what happens in the West, especially in the United States.
Yes, especially in the United States. Fee, that was a great 15-minute breakdown, 20-minute breakdown where she goes and she shows you the receipts. She goes and she pulls up the donations and you see what donations have gone where. And she's absolutely right. There's a couple of different angles when it comes to this shit. Soros has funded so much stuff. I've been accused of taking Soros money. I wish Soros would give me fucking money, but he never has. So there you are, right? Yeah, and the different reasons, right? You can discredit it, and we know they've all been co-opted. We always tell people that, what's the point? Why would you go to a COINTELPRO rally? Because that's all they are at the end of the day. Al Jazeera English channel wins Broadcaster of the Year award. Well, that's unexpected. That was from April. I don't know how I missed that back in April, but good. I mean, good. I take a hit every time I bring you guys Al Jazeera. Last week's Wednesday show where I told you guys I was going to take hits. I took 6 hits that day from YouTube. 6. And it's blocked in 2 territories. And apparently Macklemore is making money off of that video. I think he's donating it to UNRWA, but I did take copyrights from Macklemore himself. Mac, come on. Don't put a song out there like that's supposed to be uniting an entire fucking movement and then smack us with copyrights when we use it. Not cool, dude. Not cool at all. Don't forget to block the biggest sellout of all, DJ Khalid. He's Palestinian himself and hasn't said anything about Palestine. This is true. Block. I every time somebody shares one of these celebrities in my feed who's been silent, just go block them. Hit the little 3 ... and block. And even though you don't look at their content and you never would go to their page and look at what they're doing, the fact that you block them is messing up the algorithms and they get paid for their lists. So you're messing up their paydays, and that's what it's really all about. So take the time to block some celebrities. And besides, it's fun. It's fun to do. Let's hear from Jimmy on how many bases in the United States, or how many bases the U.S. has worldwide. This is a good clip, an oldie but a goodie from Jimmy Dore. Come on.
This is called empire. This is imperialism. These are all the military bases the United States has around the world. No other country has this. Just the United States has this. Nobody else does this. China, Russia, they don't have bases all over the world.
But who would enforce no war?
Because that's how capitalism ends up. You have to use a gun to keep it going. And you have to become fascists, which is what Joe Biden did to the railroad workers when he crushed a railroad strike. That's called fascism. The stuff that you hear all the time on TV as fascism isn't. That was actual fascism. And this is why our country is going down the shitter, and we're ending like all great empires end. We're overextending militarily while we won't take care of our own people at home. We just sent $15 billion, which could take care of everybody here in the United States. We just sent it to Ukraine with no debate, no talking about it. And we just built another military base in Syria. We built 3 more in the Philippines just in the last couple months.
Yeah, Philippines. We've really been building in the Philippines.
Because your government is 100% corrupt.
Get
not
ready
regular
for that
corrupt.
war with China.
It's 100% corrupt. This is called corruption. Do you see this? Do you know what this is called? This is called $1 trillion a year in corruption, because that's all this is. These people are there, these military bases are there to make sure American corporations can extract natural resources from these places. Look at all the bases we have outside of China.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Here comes South America, Central America. Look at that. Can you imagine if China had these many bases in South and Central America or anywhere?
Yeah, right.
Can you imagine if China had all these bases in the Middle East?
Now, does this include where NATO troops are?
They don't get
or is that just U.S. alone?
It's
got to include NATO too, right?
No, I didn't. But that's where your money's going, and people are not upset.
Yeah, good one from Jimmy. I like this little meme here. What does this say? What do Marines fight for? Imperialism. Good job, whoever tagged that. Keep tagging. It works, right? Let's see. Winston Marshall. I didn't have to expose Nancy Pelosi. She did it herself. Oh, gosh, yes. So you guys know about this. Kit did an amazing breakdown over at Heartlands Media. Of course, Nancy got invited over to Oxford and to talk about populism and how populism is stealing democracy. It's killing democracy. And she got her ass handed to her by one of the musicians from Mumford & Sons. It was great. I did bring you a little clip of it, but I want to look at this article because this article is funny. Let's see. No, God, all these damn pop-ups. Wants to send you notifications. No, fuck off. You're not sending me any notifications. Okay, let's take me off the screen so I can actually see it. So, oh, come on. Keep up. The internet. Musician and writer and podcaster Winston Marshall squared off against former Speaker Nancy Pelosi in an Oxford Union debate that drew virtual attention, focusing on whether populism is a threat to democracy. Below are Marshall's thoughts on the event and his opponent's performance. He said, "I've gotten her on her and her husband's stock trading. I could have gotten her on her and her husband's stock trading, but I thought that would be in bad taste." What? Why would it be in bad taste to point out their insider trading? But moving on. Or on the casual flaunting of her decadent ice cream collection mid-pandemic. Oh, yeah, we all made fun of that. That would have been rather cheap of me, don't you think? And it was quite the opportunity I had in front of me, a debate on populism, and it's supposed to treat its threat to democracy with one of the very people the American populist movement has been most inspired by, and that is Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Best stick to her political hypocrisies, I concluded, on which there are plenty. Too many even for a 10-minute speech in time. Yeah, because I think he had like 10 minutes. She had 15 minutes. It was rather curious that Madam Pelosi would even agree to such a debate. Yeah, why did she do that? Just because she got invited to Oxford? I've never seen the 84-year-old do more than 5-minute puff pieces with the usual frowning mainstream media outlets. We've seen her do more than that. She was brave, I thought, but given how unprepared she turned out to be, what I mistook for courage was actually naivety. And so just as she peppered her spray with same old smears of working people as, what is that word? Ethno-nationalists. I seasoned mine with evidence of her hypocrisy. Oh, yeah. So I did bring you a little clip from this. If you want to read the rest of what he thought of that, there's still like another half a page of it left. You can go over to the New York Post, but don't do that. Yeah, let's check out the clip I brought. Nancy. Okay, I brought you guys. I didn't bring you Kit's clip. Kit did like a 20-minute breakdown of this. Did an excellent breakdown. Go over and watch Heartland's Media if you really want to see the good breakdown. But I wanted to get Robbie Sobby's opinion on this because, you know, he likes to kiss ass of the establishment from time to time. Oh, God.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi argued that populism in the United States is a threat to democracy at an Oxford Union debate. Let's take a listen.
So money and populism, sadly, have gone together with this ethno-nationalist, what they call elite, which we call education, free press, and the rest. So I urge you to think in terms
which
of
we
the
call
word.
education.
It says it's a threat.
You can't have no
deny
education.
That it's a threat to democracy in the versions that have emerged.
Pelosi, who was also invited to deliver a lecture at Oxford Union, went on to say, quote, "Poor souls who are looking for some answers are refusing to accept options Democrats put forward due to their beliefs about guns, gays, and God." On the other side of the debate was Winston Marshall, a musician who was once part of the popular band Mumford & Sons and now hosts a podcast for The Spectator. He argued that the word populist has been changed by elites who have failed to align with their own narrative.
Kinda has.
The threat to democracy comes from those who write off ordinary people as deplorable. The threat to democracy comes from those who smear working people as racists.
Yep.
The threat to democracy comes from those who write off working people as populist.
The former musician added that he was surprised by Pelosi's argument, given he thought the left was supposed to be anti-elite and anti-establishment. Marshall also took aim
I don't
at
know who
social
told you
media
that.
companies and the mainstream media. The Oxford Union motion, titled "This House Believes Populism is a Threat to Democracy," was ultimately passed with a vote of 177 to 168. He later tweeted that Pelosi won the room, but that he won the internet.
How did she win the room?
It did strike me as an interesting kind of forum
It
and
was
choice
full of
of
elites?
candidates to debate populism. Nancy Pelosi's kind of wealth and privilege needs no introduction. But Winston Marshall
No, it
also
doesn't.
comes from what's described as a genteel European family on the internet. His grandmother was a real estate tycoon of some kind. So it does seem to me
course.
frustrating that working class people are never invited to the platform to actually discuss themselves. They're
Yeah,
always
a rich
just
person was
debated in the
talking
third
about how
person.
badly
But what
us
did you
poor
make of
people
this
are
debate?
treated.
Well, it was a little bit abstract. I think the thing being debated was literally
thing.
is
I'm
populism
glad you're paid
a
the
threat
big
to
bucks
democracy.
there,
I'm
Robbie.
surprised. I mean that Nancy Pelosi won with that framing. It would.
Why
there
did
are
she
things
win
you
with
can
that
say
framing?
about populism that are bad. I don't know that threat to democracy in terms of like just
It
what the
literally is
masses want. Right, democracy is what the masses want. Now you can
Silly
say
framing.
We have no
obviously there are
democracy.
things like in America the First Amendment, freedom of speech that we don't put up to a vote. We long ago decided there should be rules to stop, even if a majority of people want this kind of speech or this kind of expression made illegal. We're not going to do that. It doesn't matter even if it's unpopular, and we've really tried to litigate that over a period of time to make sure those rules are as ironclad as they can be, even though they come under attack.
Oh, gosh. Robbie, just a little advice. Don't wear a tie that is the same color as your flesh because it makes you look like you have no neck. Anyways, yeah, these guys, Joe, fucking talking about democracy. Like, we actually have democracy. Like, democracy is alive and we're bringing it to the rest of the world. Above and beyond the populist fucking argument, there is no democracy. What the fuck are you talking about? So gross. China. Let's hear from Biden. This was in the Rose Garden. I want to say this yesterday or the day before, but we got to have a bad guy, and it's China and Russia. But it used to be Russia, really, but now it's China.
Barely budged. And now Trump and the MAGA Republicans want across-the-board tariffs on all imports from all countries if reelected. Well, that would drive up costs for families on an average of $1,500 per year each year. It simply doesn't get it. For years, I've heard many Republicans, even Democratic friends, say China's not on the rise. Excuse me, China is on the rise. America's falling behind. I've always believed they got it wrong. America's rising. We have the best economy in the world, and since I've come to office, the GDP is up, our trade deficit with China is down to the lowest level in over a decade, and we're standing up against Chinese government unfair economic practices now. At the same time,
America's on the rise. Did you guys hear that? Are you feeling that? Is that happening in your wallet? Because it ain't happening in my wallet. America is not on the rise. And we're not even going to get into the tariff argument. Whatever. It is what it is. And yeah, this one's funny too. This is, of course, Biden challenging Trump to not one, but two debates because he seems to think that he won the debates during 2020. Nobody told him that he lost those debates when he did come out of the basement. Okay, let's hear it.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. And since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays.
Oh my God, it's so cringeworthy. So cringeworthy. Did he even, yeah, we saw a few debates in the primary, right? But did we actually see a general election debate with him? I don't even remember. I just know that Biden was in the basement during COVID for most of 2020. So this will be interesting. What do you guys think? Do you think that there's actually going to be a debate, let alone 2 debates? And what drugs do you think that they're going to have to dump on Biden in order for him to be able to pull off a debate like that, right? I mean, we know he'll have an earpiece and probably a lifetime monitor in front of him where somebody's giving him real life answers because that's the only way he could do this. I mean, he can barely read a fucking teleprompter as it is, but this will be amusing if you ask me. Very amusing. Robert F. Kennedy. What is this? I don't remember what this is. I guess we'll find out together.
If you run this campaign all year and become president, you will have achieved what?
If I win the presidency, everything in this country will change. I feel America's lost its way. They've lost perspective about the values that make us a great nation, the embodiment of the highest ideals and the highest values of our nation. And I have a very clear notion of what this country is supposed to look like. I think we're supposed to be an exemplary nation where the world wants our leadership. They don't want our bullying. They know the difference.
That's true.
We will be a moral authority again. I think I will do what my uncle wanted to
We'll
do.
be a moral
to
authority.
Stop projecting military power abroad. And
Okay, I'm
project
cool with that.
Economic power abroad. To rebuild our industrial base here, to rebuild our middle class, and to get every
with
member
that.
of this generation into a home. The housing prices have gone from $200,000 2 years ago to $500,000 today. Our kids can never get in it, and I'm going to change that. Once you're in a home, you have equity. You can pursue your entrepreneurial impulses, and we can start rebuilding the middle class in this country, rebuilding Main Street, rewarding entrepreneurial energies.
Okay. He actually thinks he has a chance to win. What do you guys think? Is he delusional? I think he's delusional because he doesn't understand how our electoral college works. So keep going, RFK Jr. And if you are the winner, it's because you were chosen to be the winner. And for fuck's sakes, who left the gate open on the fucktard farm? I know it won't. Yeah, I know it won't change. It won't change. You know it won't change at the end of the day. Oh, Kyle, we've got one from Malibu Kin. Malibu Kin. I think I got this from INN. Andy and Rafe dropped this last night. Let's check it out. Are you voting third party?
5% for the Green Party? Is that what it is? So that you can get matching funds and make it more viable? But again, I hate to tell you, the Green Party and no third party will be viable unless and until we get ranked choice voting. What do you think you're doing here? Like, what do you think you're doing here? Do you actually think you can win? Because you can't.
If you get rid of first past the post voting and you do ranked choice voting and you get it tomorrow,
I agree we need ranked choice voting.
Cheerleader. I would become like an evangelist.
But I'm not going to not vote for a third party.
Then you are, by definition, you're serious. And so, but if you do ranked choice voting and get rid of first past post voting, then you immediately get rid of any objection to having an independent candidate or a third party candidate. And then I genuinely think overnight the Green Party becomes more viable, the Libertarian Party becomes more viable. You could come up with some new party, you could run as an independent, and that would become more viable. So I guess my frustration is, I always, like, in this discussion, everybody always puts the cart before the horse.
He should die
Jill
as goatee
Stein was
blonde.
not a spoiler. It is not those voters' fault who voted for, like you guys that voted for Jill Stein.
But she got blamed anyway.
But she got blamed.
And then the left was further marginalized as a result of it.
So I don't see the connection.
Guys.
And I see a much more direct connection between protecting the Biden National Labor Relations Board and allowing this little budding, exciting, amazing, potentially transformational labor movement to actually grow. Whereas if Trump gets reelected, which is, listen, it's
Is she telling you have to vote for Biden because of the labor movement? Are you effing kidding
Donald
me?
Trump gets elected with Cornell West in the race. And that's
After
to me,
what
it's a
Biden's
massive
done
because we know
to
what
the
his
labor
record is. We
movement?
know what his National Labor Relations Board was. We know who his labor secretaries were and how they were engaged in all this union busting. And so I see
Oh, but
much more
Biden
direct
doesn't
connection
union bust.
between that moving the ball in our direction than, Cornell West getting 5% and either his candidacy not really mattering at all, or being used once again to, smear the left and marginalize the left and say these are just the people that are interested in getting Trump elected.
So again, I want to wish Jill a very, very happy birthday. I want her to know that she has my support. I think she's very brave for running in this environment, in this climate. And look, bottom line is, there is one candidate in this race who is both on the ballot and anti-war. And we all know who that is. Donald Trump likes to pretend he's anti-war. He's not. Sometimes Biden likes to pretend he's anti-war. He's clearly not. He's arming and funding the genocide right now. Cornell West, I'm not sure he's going to get on that many ballots. And RFK, don't get me started.
Either.
This is a guy who pretends like he's the most anti-war, but he's also in favor of Netanyahu committing a genocide and us arming and funding it. And he completely dehumanizes Palestinians on a regular basis. So from where I'm sitting, from my perspective,
Shmuley
there's one
Buttplug?
candidate in
Yeah.
this race that's doing the right thing and standing on the right issues. And, look, fighting for it at a time that's important historically, where nobody else is stepping up and doing the right thing.
Both sides of
and so again, very happy birthday to Jill Stein. Sorry I couldn't be there with you guys today, but I'm there with you in spirit. And Jill, we wish the best for you moving forward.
He's a part of the cool crowd. He gets to go to Jill's birthday party, right? You guys know I'm not talking shit about the Green Party. And of course, I'm voting third party. But let's be realistic. We know that this broken election system is not going to let any of these candidates pull at a place where they get federal funding. We know without a shadow of a doubt what they did to Jill Stein in 2016. And that is I seriously think that they might have flipped Gary Johnson's numbers with her numbers. Because where Gary Johnson came in was mind melting compared to, he didn't even know where Aleppo was. I mean, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And they will always blame the third party, even if they didn't take a viable chunk out of whatever election. So Kyle, Crystal, talking out both sides of their face. Just depends on, where they're at and who they can, buddy up to. That's what they frickin' do. Is he on Ozempic? Did somebody say they're on Ozempic? That's funny. I wouldn't be shocked, right? So this came up in my memories yesterday, and I thought I would share it with all of you. Who remembers Roberta's rules? Of course, this was 8 years ago yesterday. Voters remember Vegas. Roberta's rules, May 14, 2016. Her name is Roberta Lang. She was the chair of the Nevada State Democratic Party. She never reached a quorum, didn't get 2/3 majority, so she just decided to have a 50-50 voice to enact the rules, and then gavelled it down when they booed her, and then brought in the cops. And that's what you're seeing here, this little picture up here. That's the line of police at the Nevada Dems primary in 2016, where they just flat out lied and stole the primary. We're never going to forget. I'm never going to forget what they did to us in 2016. And I'm going to keep reminding people. And yet these people are still in power, though. Still in power. We haven't changed anything. Nothing's changed other than, hey, we just don't even fucking do primaries anymore because you motherfuckers almost won doing those. So we ain't doing that again, right? They changed those rules real quickly. Mayor Adams suggests migrants could fill NYC's lifeguard shortages because they're excellent swimmers. What the fuck? I did have a video clip for this. I don't think it got loaded, but basically he's just like, well, we got these jobs. We need life guards, but we can't hire them. Okay, my question is, are these for pools? Or are these for people swimming in like the fucking water? Who would swim in the Hudson? Who's swimming in New York? And where are you swimming? That's my question. Just more gross shit from the Dems in New York at the end of the day. Hillary Clinton's musical is tanking. Did you know there is a 3-hour Hillary Clinton musical? Oh, aren't you so sad you haven't got tickets for it? You need tickets for it. Let's check it out. How well is it doing?
Picture the most off-putting live performance you could possibly imagine. The most grating genre on the most tedious topics, woven into a narrative played by the most politically correct cast, backed by the most odious people in the country. Whatever you are imagining is still not as awful as Hillary Clinton's new Broadway musical, Suffs, a nearly 3-hour musical about the suffragettes, performed by an entirely female or gender non-binary cast.
Of course.
The show filled just 81% of its seats last week, which was only a marginal improvement over the 78% capacity that it played to the week before. It is a perfect picture of the Democrat Party. Tedious political lessons funded and told by unpopular performers to uninterested people.
Oh my gosh, how gross. Would you go? Would you go? I would not go. But I want to know, is the final scene of Hillary Clinton smashing that huge TV on election night after she lost? You guys heard about that story, right? She threw a champagne bottle through a 72-inch Vizio or some shit, throwing a fit that night. I really hope that the play ends that way. That would be perfect. Oh my gosh. My eyes. I would have to be gouging out my eyes to watch that shit at the end of the day. So Kamala Harris says if there's a door shut, you need to just kick that fucker open. But actually what happens is she blew that door open, if you know. If you know. Let's hear.
We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that fucking door down.
Watch your language, bitch.
Excuse my language.
Abrams. Oh my God, the cackler strikes again. Yeah, we all know that she didn't kick any fucking doors in. She buddied up to Montel Williams, even though he was married, had a couple of affairs with, the former mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown. And yeah, basically she was a video vixen who is now the VP. So don't take advice from her, women, please. Please don't. Please don't. Did you guys see this? This is so gross. Okay, so this is obviously has been tampered with, but I just thought it was funny. So here we got Marjorie Greene Taylor hanging out with General Flynn because he seems to be everybody on the left or the right's favorite shit stain lately. Anyways, look what they did to her toes. Somebody made it look like she only had 3 toes, and then there was a huge, conspiracy. Oh my God, does she have 3 toes? Blah, blah, blah. And somebody went and actually found a picture of her with all of her toes. So, yeah, this is AI, but funny. I know. It's scary, isn't it, Cornell? It is scary, right? People will manipulate anything with AI. Anything. It's just freaking funny. I just thought that was amusing. I'm sorry if you're not a foot person and you had to look at that. Okay, this story comes to you out of Washington State. Of course, my former friend, Bob Ferguson, is running for governor to fill Jay Inslee's spot. Well, the Republicans got a smart-ass idea that they would just go enter a couple of other candidates named Bob Ferguson. And apparently that's a felony. And now Bob Ferguson's pissed and he's coming for him, right? Let's check this out. So Bob Ferguson says, Washington democracy has been assaulted by a right-wing conservative who paid the filing fee for 2 other Bob Fergusons to run in for governor. But my Republican opponent, Dave Reinhardt, lacks the political courage to condemn this assault. When crime benefits Dave Reinhardt, he is silent. And Sunday Girl says Republicans registered 2 other Bob Fergusons to run as a Democrat for governor of Washington to confuse voters. When they learned it was a felony, Bob Ferguson and Bob Ferguson dropped out, leaving Bob Ferguson as the only remaining Democrat candidate. Vote for Bob Ferguson. Bob, your uncle. 2 Bob Fergusons withdraw from the Washington governor race. Okay, let's hear a little bit of this.
At Kerry Park, instead of the View, voters here are focusing on what happened Friday.
The attacks on voting and in the games that people are playing.
I suspect that they weren't told that this little prank was a Class B felony that could land them in prison.
Former King County prosecutor Dan Satterberg is talking about the race for governor after 3 Bob Fergusons filed as Democrats. One is Attorney General Bob Ferguson, who says the others got in the 11th hour before the state's deadline.
One of these Bob Fergusons
they were there,
second on the ballot.
The auditor's office at freaking 5 o'clock.
And I appear number 13
Costly
on the
little
ballot.
One
gag.
Ferguson who filed is from Yakima, the other from Graham.
They both
like
had the same
$1,600 to
UPS
file,
office in
so
Olympia,
they paid for
which
this.
they filed. And they both have the same campaign manager. That's Glen Morgan.
Ferguson's campaign calls Glen Morgan a far-right activist.
Their goal is clear: to mislead voters and split my supporters 3 ways to depress my vote total and keep me from moving into the top 2.
Oh, if you're going to cheat, do it right.
This top 2 primary.
Yeah, we have top 2 primary in Washington State, so the top 2 moved to the ballot for the general.
Activity.
The chairman of the state's Republican Party calls it a flawed system and says this about Ferguson.
I'm encouraged to see the current attorney general so worked up about a Class B felony. For 10 years, he's been ignoring Class B felonies in the state of Washington.
The attorney general does call it an illegal scheme.
But I want to be very clear.
It's
this
illegal.
is not an attack on me.
Going to prison.
It's an attack on our election system. It's an attack on our democracy.
Now, I did reach out to Glen Morgan and the 2 other Bob Fergusons today for comment. I did not immediately hear back. Joyce?
What?
The two other Bob Fergusons were not available for comment, but they have withdrawn. So, yeah, more, shittery going on in Washington State. I just thought this was fucking amusing as hell. And, yeah, I've known Bob Ferguson for a long, long time. I've been to many of the Bob Ferguson fundraisers. My local Dems absolutely adore him. Of course, Bob Ferguson is from my little town of Port Angeles, Washington. But he's got high hopes, man. He's going to hit governor, and then he's going big time. Of course, he is an attorney. He has been the Attorney General of Washington State, I want to say, since 2016. And Bob has done some good things. Don't get me wrong. Bob has taken on a lot of corporations. And when it comes to consumer acts and going after the, protecting the consumers, he was one of the first attorneys to step up as a state and sue Big Pharma for the opiate addiction and what it's done to our state. But and he wasn't very political, I can tell you, up until just like the last 6 months. He really stayed out of the political muck, which made me respect him. But now that he wants to be governor, he's in there. He's in there fucking deep. So I will keep an eye on this race. It's funny. At the end of the day, it is funny. So his opponent, this judge Reinhardt, David Reinhardt, he was one of the cops who went after the Green River Killer. I'm pretty sure that's the same guy, right? At the end of the day. Oh, this just made me so mad. So mad. I don't know if you've seen this video, but it's so mean and so terrible. I'll just play it and we'll talk about it.
So I always keep this fake Hollywood money in my car. So when a homeless person asks for money, then I give them like a fake $5 bill. So I feel good about myself. They feel good. And then when they go to use it, they get arrested. So I'm actually like helping clean up the community.
Jackson Hinkle, is that you?
Getting them off the street.
Oh my gosh, how terrible. I hope that he gets arrested for distributing counterfeit money. I mean, I'm sure it's a TikTok joke, but it's not even fucking funny, right? It's not even funny. But it is a good idea. If you're going to be printing a bunch of counterfeit money, give it to the homeless. They'll get it all distributed for you at the end of the day. I hope it was a joke, and I hope people aren't doing that. But let's see. The income a family needs to live comfortably in the United States. We need to make $257K in Washington State to live comfortably. Yeah, that's not fucking happening. These prices are not happening anywhere. I mean, even Louisiana's $190K. Holy shit. I don't know anybody who's getting close to that in Louisiana. So unobtainable. And that's where we are. But hey, don't worry, because RFK Jr. gets elected. He's going to bring back the middle class at the end of the day. And Mexicans going to America for opportunities. Americans going to Mexico for cheap housing. Hey, I know you. Yeah, I know you, right? And that's what we're doing too, right? So many people are moving to Mexico. But Mexico caught on and deported a bunch, like 200,000 Americans last week alone. I did a report, I want to say last week on it. Did you guys see this? So I noticed on my Facebook the last 2 days, everybody was bitching that our local Red Lobster, which isn't even that local, it's like 60 miles away, the next big town over. And I do love me some Red Lobster, I gotta say. Has been closed. And there was just a handwritten sign on the door that said, sorry, temporarily closed. And so our whole town was up in a roar about it. What's going on with Red Lobster? People were speculating that the health department shut them down. People were speculating that they'd gone under. Well, that's exactly it. But this is not shocking news, especially for my chat, because I've been telling you all, I've been bringing you lists of restaurants that are getting ready to go under, that are getting ready to file bankruptcy. Red Lobster was definitely on those lists that I've been giving you for the last 18 months. Oz and I cover this over at Beauty and the Boomer weekly. And so there wasn't a big surprise here for me. Red Lobster is quickly closing at least 48 of its restaurants across 21 states, according to a company that helps companies liquidate equipment. So it didn't even come from Red Lobster. Red Lobster could not confirm, but the company that's liquidating all their shit, they could confirm. How crazy is that? Let's see. Red Lobster is closing nearly 50 locations. So I can't believe ours wasn't doing that well. We're like military centric. It's right next to the Trident base, That's kind of weird that they didn't, that store was losing money. So that's what it tells how bad it is for them if the Red Lobster, like literally next to a military base, is going under. So smells like Red Lobster. Yeah, I don't know. So, and who goes along with Red Lobster? Normally you got Olive Garden right there. They're all owned by the same corporation. So you're going to see more than just Red Lobster going under. And besides that, who the fuck can afford to go eat at one of these places? If you take a family of 4 into Red Lobster, you are paying at least $200. At least. And that's probably if you're only buying each person a meal and a drink. Don't throw no appetizers in there and none of those fancy shark attacks or anything like that, because that's not what's going to happen at all. Learn how to make lobster at home. It's really easy. It is really easy. And but who can afford lobster? I guess if you're in Maine or, where there's lobster, maybe you can afford it. But let's see. Flying, this is Luke Wadowski and flying armed robots and drone swarm. I'm not sure what this is. Let's play it and see. I like me some Luke Wadowski. We are change. Of course, Pasta went and hung out and did his show not too long ago.
Most common cooking oil is literally motor oil. Canola oil is everywhere. Restaurants, packaged foods, and your pantry. This oil made from a seed was used since the Industrial Revolution. Canola oil was the solution. It was a contribution to lubricants for ship, steam engine maintenance. The U.S. built a lot of ships during World War II and needed a lot of lubricants. Canada made a bunch of this seed oil in abundance. After World War II, they had so much excess oil, what a nuisance. Too much oil. Then some finance guy said, maybe we could eat the oil. Yeah, let's eat it.
Yep. You're eating engine lubricant and you will love it.
You are eating engine lubricant and you will love it. We had this conversation on Monday. I just don't even know what to use anymore, right? I mean, that's affordable. I can't afford to go spend $40 on a bottle of fucking EVOO. Who can afford that shit? I guess I'm eating engine lubricant. And I have been my whole life. You guys know what I watched the other day over on Netflix? I watched Dark Water, finally, the Mark Ruffalo story about DuPont and Forever Chemicals. If you haven't seen it, it's a good watch, but it freaked me out. I went in the kitchen the next day, I was cooking, and I pulled that Teflon pan out of the cupboard, and I'm staring at it like, fuck, I've used these my whole entire life. I've been eating Teflon, right? Terrible. If you haven't seen that movie, it's pretty goddamn shocking. But in the 90s, my ex, he worked for DuPont. He worked for Dow. He worked for Exxon. I've always been aware of the chemical cartel because of living down there. And, it made me sad for Ohio. Poor Ohio. God, you guys just get so much shit dumped on you. But it's not just Ohio that the chemical cartels are poisoning. They're poisoning the whole fucking country. But there definitely is some areas that are getting poisoned more than others. And why? Well, because they tend to be red areas. The EPA is going to look the other way. Some of that lubricants greasing some hands. And that's why they're allowed to poison your waterway and poison you and poison your unborn children. And it was a very sad movie. So if you haven't seen it, it's called Deep Water. It's got Mark Ruffalo and who was that? Anyways. It's worth a watch. Did you guys see Aaron Rodgers sat down with Tucker? Yeah, and Aaron Rodgers pretty much calls out Bill Gates for his depopulation agenda. And this is funny. This is funny because Tucker tries to pretend like, what? You think Bill Gates would do that? Let's check this out.
But big picture, do you have any guess as to what is the program here? What is the point of this? Is it depopulation? Because that's its effect, of course. The lockdowns and the vax depopulate by definition. What you said, massive miscarriage rate, but also just keeping people inside for a year and a half destroys their ability to find a mate, destroys their souls.
Immune system, yeah.
And its effect on your immune system, exactly. It causes illness.
I think there's some people that want depopulation. Now, there's been, video.
You're not allowed to say that.
Bill Gates that, has people think it's taken out of context. But if you look at his track record and what he's done, around the world. I don't know that he's a proponent of like all life and people having more kids and more population on this earth.
Well, I think he's strongly pro-death, from what I can tell.
I think he's not the only one. I think there's a lot of other people.
He's not the only one.
I don't understand what that motivation is. Why?
Creed.
But I think those are some of the evils that we're up against.
Shaylee, you did a good job of breaking his brain and getting him in the right lane. I'll give you that, even though they're broke up now, right? At least he gets it. I used to talk shit on Aaron, and he was actually one of my fantasy football quarterbacks who actually won me a championship. And yeah, I'm not going to talk shit on him while he's dropping some truths like that. But he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. We talk about the eugenics depopulation agenda that is on full display via the WEF, the WHO, you name it. They want it. The elites have always wanted you gone. You're the problem. They're not the problem. They can drive their cars and fly their jets as much as they want, as long as you worthless eaters are not busy breathing their air and taking up their resources. So yeah, this is what they're getting ready to roll out. We know it. Oh, breaking news. Bill Gates' ex-wife Melinda just announces that she is resigning from the Gates Foundation. Oh, she probably found out that the vaccines weren't saving the children. I don't know. I have decided to resign from my role as co-chair of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. My last day of work at the foundation will be June 7th. So June 7th, she is bouncing. I just have one question. If you had Bill Gates' money and all the money in the fucking world, why wouldn't you get a nose job? Just saying. Why wouldn't you get a nose job? I don't know. I guess to each their own, right? They're doing it again because you didn't hang them the last time. Yep, it's that simple. It's that simple. Yeah, but it's good to see some people actually calling that shit still out. And that includes Chris Cuomo, because Fredo's finally got on the right side of this story, right? Now that he's vaccine injured. And I don't even know if this is cut, but I mean, I'm glad that he's talking about it, but it just feels so like he's just looking for an avenue to be liked by independent people, right? Because he even states that, well, I wasn't with them anymore because CNN fired me and I was an indie journalist by then. Dude, you are not a fucking indie journalist. Shut up. You will never be an indie journalist. And let's hear from News Nation.
I know that it sounds like it's just stoking a fringe. I know most of us want to move on from the pandemic. I don't think we can, and here's why. There are too many questions about what happened during the pandemic to just move on. That's why we've been asking them here. You got to remember, I was off TV for a little while.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
we
didn't
remember.
have a platform to do these things. But
So
I do now.
sad.
And if
He didn't have a platform.
You discount the anti-vaxxers and people who believe lockdowns were tyranny, fine. But I think it's a mistake. I don't agree with all their assessments. But I think the conversation is the cure, not calling them crazy. And here's why. COVID
Oh, but you called us
isn't
crazy for the last
going
3 years,
anywhere.
but not anymore.
I'm not saying that we're going to have huge cases and hospitalizations like we did with the early virus, the original, and the first 1 or 2 variants. I'm saying that the virus will still continue to affect the health of the young and the old in ways that we can see and can't see. And we have to deal with it. And you can't do that if you don't put it front and center and hold to account.
That's
what
why
has
he's putting
already
it front
come
and
to
center.
pass. That's why you need to look at the reality that there are so many saying they were hurt by the vaccine. Doesn't mean that the vaccine was a scam or that, but you have to go through the process of analysis. Yeah, it does. There are too many saying that they were hurt. I know that it sounds
Okay, that's enough of Chris. I ain't listening to 7.54 minutes of that crap. But yeah, he's late to the party. Are we glad that some station's talking about it? I guess, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The damage is already done. They have already conditioned us for the next one that's going to roll out, which is going to be bird flu, N1H1, right? Just be prepared. We know what the WHO wants, and Yeah, I feel bad for the people that are vaccine injured. I really do. And I have said this for years now. Like, it's incumbent upon you guys to stand up and scream your damn heads off that this happened to you. And it seems like there's a lot of people starting to come forward and saying that. Maybe Chris will be the official spokesperson of it. Who knows? So I could eat a bowl of alphabet soup and shit out a smarter statement. Yeah, we know. Fredo's not that smart, right? Fredo at the end of the day. The FDA is saying it's preparing for a bird flu pandemic in people that could kill 1 in 4 Americans. Fear porn, fear porn, fear porn, fear porn. Be scared, be scared, be scared. This was dated May 9th, 2024. And senior health reports for dailymail.com, because they do the bidding of Big Pharma and always have. There's a few states that it's already showed up in. Texas, you look like you've got it. And Idaho's got it already too. Wow. Moving on. We already know that that's coming, right? More solar storms incoming. Did you guys see this? We got more coming. Why is this such a big story? Because we predicted this. We knew it was going to happen. We were talking about it a year ago. Like, hey, next year it's going to be the 11-year solar maximum, and we're probably going to see a bunch of cardinal masses. We knew that already. This is not shocking, but let's hear.
Good morning, folks. Today we've got scientists discussing sunspot maximum, the importance of ozone, which will play a role in tonight's special video as well, solar forcing of tropical cyclones, and a new Big Burb video, our EMP-proof disaster vehicle. We are starting with the last 24 hours on our star, more solar flares, including one more X-class event from the departing spots. The incoming spots are becoming active as well, and will be our watch in the coming days. But as we
look at that. Okay, so you see the incoming over here, right? I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. That's the incoming. If that spins around and fucking spits at us, then we actually could see some major disruptions. And that's why I wanted to bring this clip. I just wanted to show you what the sun was doing. Who cares what this guy's opinion on any of it is? I just want to look at the data, the actual reports, and that's what I look at. And you can see right there. So we have a X 7.5 or even higher that should hit us by this afternoon, by this evening. I don't know. Papa, I don't want to hear about your mass ejection. Stop it. Anyways, I have been experiencing a few outages. Have you? It's weird because it's so intermittent. It depends on, it's like certain apps are going down. Facebook wasn't working for a while. Like, it just depends on what it is. And I brought you guys that video on Monday of the things that have been affected. It's a lot of the satellite based stuff we've noticed, right? So, hey, yeah, maybe that's what took out my sound in my studio this morning. I don't know. But we'll keep an eye on it. Just know if your fucking internet and your power goes out and it doesn't come back on, this might be it, or it could just be another hoax by your government. You never know. We never know, and we will not know, right? Who are you going to call? You're not going to have anybody to call. You go knock on your neighbor's door and ask them if their internet's out, and they'll tell you, yeah. And then what? We sit around and we wait to find out what the hell is going on? That's about the gist of what's going to happen if shit does go down. I love this. Gladys is back from vacation. She is back at it, taking down those nasty yachts. So the Guardian yacht sinks after latest incident involving orcas in the Strait of Gibraltar. And Gladys, when asked, said, yeah, so vacation is over. And I was just telling Billy how I couldn't wait to get back to it. And fuck them yachts, Orca 2024. When they threaten the food chain, organize. Yes, organize. I love to see that Gladys is back with her posse kicking some asses. But wait, there's more she can do. Did you see this? They have luxury submarines now. I hope that the orcas start going after the damn submarines. So dive into luxury with the Miglo M5 submersible super yacht. So it's not even called, it's called a submersible super yacht. It's not even called a submarine, right? Whatever. Orcas, you need to target these things. Target those things, definitely. Could this be those anomalies that we keep seeing that I keep reporting to you, right? There's some crazy things that are going along with those anomalies. I'm going to have to look into it, but it has to do with like ridges in the atmosphere that happen to be sitting over the same place that those damn anomalies are showing up in the ocean. So I'm not buying the story that it's just instruments that are malfunctioning repeatedly for like the last month now. Yeah, nobody's doing that. Nobody's believing that. The Project Bluebeam. Jesus. Yeah, Project Bluebeam. We know what Project Bluebeam is and probably what's going to happen, right? I mean, we got the Vatican telling us about apparitions and, they want to take down the temple. So who knows? Just keep your eyes peeled. If you do see Jesus, don't believe it. That's all I'm going to say. Don't believe it. We got some good stuff in What the Fuck. What the fuck? Let's start with this one. Of course, there was an unveiling of the very first official portrait of King Charles. And the comedy writes itself on this one. And check out on this video how he jumps away from what he sees. Oh. Ooh, they even got his sausage fingers. Very good job of protecting his sausage fingers, You know what this reminds me of? And the minute I saw it, I thought of this. This right here. From Ghostbusters 2, right? I got this from Reef because I thought it, and Reef tweeted it. So I was like, I was thinking that too. It does absolutely look like that, right? But if you stare really hard at this freaking portrait, there's a bunch of crazy shit in it. And I love the refaces I'm seeing all over Twitter on this one. Let's see. What was this guy's name? You guys tell me what this dude's name was in the Ghostbusters. What was the name on it? I can't remember, but it was funny. Let's see. I want to get to the next slide. Okay, so here's some of the crazy shit that's embedded in here. Okay, so up on his right shoulder, there is 2 monarch butterflies. Now, people say that is because of his dedication to the environment. But when you understand what monarch MK Ultra programming is, maybe that could be it. And yeah, there's an eyeball embedded in there. Looks like a woman's skin almost. You have a screaming woman. But most of all, when you put the pictures next to each other and lay them out, they look like the Baphomet. How is that? Right here. They look like the Baphomet right here. What the fuck is that? These guys are so obvious with the shit that they do, right? I mean, that's obviously an eyeball. You see the eyeball? I see the eyeball right here. Right here. Yeah, that's the eyeball right there. So creepy. So fucking creepy. Now, we know how creepy he is, because his best friend was Jimmy Savile at the end of the day. There's a lot of people that are breaking down what this could mean. Like, a lot of people equating this to the bloody horse we saw running through London last week. The king's horse, right? These guys are satanic as fuck. Yeah, for sure. So gross. I think Jilly sent me this. Hey, Jilly, haven't seen you. Shout out if you're out there. Let's check this out.
It was interesting timing. The reason I want to raise this particularly with personal experience of the case. I mean, I know there's all sorts of speculation about what really happened and was Henri Paul drunk and, why they took the route they did. It was completely circuitous. But David and I had personal involvement in it. Apart from the timing, which really screwed our lives over about a year afterwards, about 2 months after her death, we had a mysterious phone call. And it turned out it was Mohammed Al-Fayed, who wanted us to go to Paris and look at some documents he'd been offered. So, at this point, we're living in a very remote farmhouse. Black Ritz Mercedes comes to pick us up and take us to Paris. And almost crashes twice. So that could have been a good headline. Anyway, we look at the documents. He's been offered these for sale from a guy who's very vague about how he got hold of them. That's the one. These are documents purporting to prove that there was CIA and MI6 involvement in Diana's death. And they looked good. But if you knew what a document really looked like, what a proper MI6 document looked like, there were some simple errors, things like the date timeline, things like the addressee list, they just weren't quite right. They were forgeries, they were very good forgeries. And this would have been a classic strawman technique. Al-Fayed was asked for $20 million for these documents and probably would have paid if they were real, because he was desperate to prove that there was a plot against his son and his possible future daughter-in-law. Anyway, we saw that they were forgeries, they were fakes. And it saved him $20 million, but also saved him embarrassment. This would have been a classic straw man operation, whereby he would have bought them, held them
Like
up to the
what
world's
the
media and
CIA
said, look, I've got
does?
proof,
Or
I've got proof.
Mossad?
And then the authorities would have turned around and said, look, it's so obvious, look at these simple errors, of course they're forgeries. You can imagine what would have happened. Anything else he ever found out, he would have been dismissed as a fantasist. So, you know, his entire campaign for justice for his son would have stalled pretty much before it started. Anyway, as the lady down there said, the guy who was trying to flog him these documents was a well-known con man called Oswald or Oscar Lewinter. He was also notoriously an MI6 agent. He was quite well known. Most agents were pretty, tightly, their identities were quite tightly held. He was pretty well known though, because he seemed to get involved in all sorts of dodgy activities. So that, to us, proved that there was an MI6 interest in this. And then, of course, we started looking at the other evidence and all the rest of it. And I have to say, my personal opinion, I think, yes, they did intend to at least seriously injure or kill her. And it's not just about the fact that, was she pregnant, wasn't she? We'll never know because they embalmed her against all French law so quickly. And all the other speculative things you see in the press. It's also the fact that it was reported that she was being a great success in the landmine campaign that she was running.
Yes.
But also, she was about to go into campaigning on the behalf of the Palestinians. Now, you can imagine someone of Princess
Did
Diana
they kill Princess Di
doing
because
that.
she was going to stand
They
up for
would not have
Palestine?
tolerated it. They could not have dealt with that. So I think that's why she was taken out. I think they've probably been planning it for a while, and it was just perfect timing. They did it when they did.
What do you guys think? Do you think that they, MI6, took out Princess Di because she was about to stand up for the Palestinian people? It makes sense with where she was at, especially fighting back against landmines and war in general, right? She wanted peace. So I brought that because that's the first time I'd actually thought about that. Like, wow, maybe she was, and that's why they went after her. Thank you so much for the Super Ray over on the Rokfin. Himkar. Himkar says, John Bolenbout is a Bronze Star Navy vet and an M-Bridge fracked pipeline whistleblower. His movie is on helppa.org. He gave us six figures. He gave up a six-figure salary job. His life was threatened too. I saw it at my local university. One of my professors was from Kalamazoo, and they threw him in the toxic water. Oh my gosh. And there's a link. So if you guys want to check that link out, go over to the Rokfin, Roar Media. And thank you, Himkar, for that. Yes, I found that movie very, and there's so much more that we don't even know about, right? We need 1 million movies like that for all the shit that they do to us. But Mark Ruffalo can only do so many movies in a year. So he tends to do all those movies. Is there a movie about Steven Donziger yet? Chevron? I don't know. I haven't seen it, if there is. Anyways, moving on. What time is it? How are we doing on time? Okay. You guys know I got a doctor's appointment, so I'm pushing to get out of here, but we're moving fast. Did you guys see this? The porthole of hell. Okay, so they set up a porthole, and it's between, is it Dublin? Dublin and New York, I want to say. And at first it was cute. People would dance and wave at each other. But then, of course, an American fucking dumbass blonde woman had to go and flash her boobies. And now it's shut down. They put a fence around it. But check this out. The guys are all smiling. We can't have anything nice. Everything gets ruined by the Stanley Cup girls, right? At the end of the day. I don't know. The future. There you are. The future. It's funny. We didn't even hear about this until after the fact, right? But the memes have been off the hook for sure. Let's see. Hilarious that they turned off the porthole and added barriers so people can't reach the camera. Social experiment is going well. And it does remind me of that episode of Star Trek. Totally does, right? At the end of the day. Yeah, we need more of this. So social experiment failed at the end of the day. Did you guys see... Okay, so I'm scrolling on Monday afternoon after the show, and there is a video of a dude at a gas station. Tell me you saw the gas station dude. Tell me you saw the gas station dude. He literally had the gas pump shoved up his bum, and he was jerking it with the other hand. Like, what in the fuck? Why do I have to see this on X? And I had to wash my eyes out. But here's the funny part. people have been going and refacing that image, and somebody put Robert De Niro over it. Somebody did that and put it on that painting of Prince Charles or King Charles. Too funny. Yeah, if you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about. That video was insane. Like, why? Who records this shit and puts it online? I want to say it was in Italy is what I read, but oh my gosh. So Steve Buscemi got punched in the face while walking around New York this week. What? And here's a picture of the assailant who got away. Apparently, he was just minding his own business, and some dude just walked up and frickin' decked him. Now, I have had this happen. You guys know I've had this happen to me. I got punched in a Wendy's drive-through many years ago. It was like 2017. It was this dude who was a Trump supporter, but that didn't have anything to do with it. He thought I cut in front of him, even though he wasn't in line. His truck was running and parked by the front door of the business, and he wasn't even in it. So the door was open. Maybe he was in the bathroom or something. I still don't know to this day. So I just go and get in line, and he literally runs up and freaking punches me in the face through my window. And yeah, he went to jail for that shit. So it's more common than you think. Always be vigilant while you're out there, right? Never trust anybody. I definitely don't now. I have a taser and bear spray. So come F with me again, and you'll find out for sure. Do not forget, Robert De Niro thought we forgot. We didn't forget. What is it that we didn't forget? Oh, according to court records in 1998, Robert De Niro was a client at an international prostitution ring that tricked children into providing S-acts for the Hollywood elite clients. Yes, he thinks we've forgotten. No, we haven't forgotten. No, we didn't forget. You just enough time went by and your agents managed to sweep it under the rugs enough for you to get another job, and then everybody loved you again. That's how it goes. Dear Robert De Niro, please shut the fuck up. Yeah, totally. Shut the fuck up and go away. I didn't bring you guys that meme of the gas pump guy with De Niro, but that was the best meme all week, right? You guys know. If you saw it, you saw it. Okay, Edward Norton still talks to himself after all these years. He does. Fight Club. Nobody talks about Fight Club. As long as they're not talking about Fight Club, they're fine, right? You know, I used to absolutely love Fight Club, but I kind of look at it a little different now, almost like programming. So it's sad when you learn things and then you can't enjoy the stuff you used to love, right? You guys know. Okay, we made it to Meme Alley. I am going to be out of here on time. Okay, let's start. Let's see. 60 maybe be the new 40, but when did the 100 become the new 20? Oh, God, I know, right? It's like $200 to leave the fucking house every time we leave the goddamn house. I don't care if you're going to the store, you're going to the pharmacy, where you're going, it's costing so much money. So, yeah, the 100 is the new 20, sadly. You know, you offer somebody $5 for gas, that's like giving them $1. Excuse me, the way I look at it. For an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, use this picture. Oh, that's so bad. That is so bad. And time to flush. Yes, it is time to flush, America. It's time to flush that whole entire bowl right down to the ground. Totally agree. Magic 8 Ball. Am I too drunk to drive? You don't have to be. If you know, you will find that meme funny. If you don't, then move along. Today's generation goes out at night and calls in sick to work the next day. Our generation went clubbing, got home at 5 a.m., slept for an hour, and showed up to work in the same clothes and a hand stamp. Oh, hell yeah, we did. For sure. You go, what was it? You play, you pay, right? Like, okay, I did this to myself. I got to suck it up and go to work. Hey, wanna come watch the TV with me sometime? Stay back, you mentally brainwashed bastard. That's the way I feel about normies. Yeah, for sure. Run, I dare you. LOL, bye, bitch. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the old Mustang would blow the doors off of that new Mustang cop car at the end of the day. But hey, if you guys haven't seen, Miami's got Rolls-Royce cop cars now. Aren't they fancy? That's where we're at. Your tax dollars at work. No, wrong one. In 6 years, the 80s will have been 50 years ago. Oh my gosh. Come on. I'm already feeling old hitting 50. You got to tell me that the 80s was almost 50 years ago? I know. I know. And when I have a tiny sip of water before bed, pissing the night away. Yeah, that's one of the worst parts about being old, right? Oh, I just want to sleep for a little bit longer, but I got to pee so bad. I got to get up. Yeah, that's the way it normally is for me, right? Or I know I got to get up in an hour. So if I get up now, then I'm awake. I'm not going to fall back asleep. Yeah, it sucks getting old. It sucks getting old. What is this? German Argentinian. Nobody asked her what her grandfather was doing from 1936 to 1945. Get it? Get it? Because they all fled? Yeah, you get it. You guys get it. I know you do. Oh, the Hot Topic manager. The Hot Topic manager coming over to tell me that the Hello Kitty merch is on sale right now. They are very efficient at Hot Topic, aren't they? Do we even have Hot Topic anymore? Is that even a thing? I mean, our mall is all but shuttered and closed and gone. So I don't know how much longer Hot Topic or Spencer's is going to be around. The deeper you went, the wilder it got. That's true. Go to the back of Spencer's and you'll see some crazy shit. Yeah, you know, I know. If you've ever been in Spencer's, you know what's in the back of Spencer's. We'll just say schmooly butt plugs probably at the end of the day. And not all princesses need saving. That's right. We'll save ourselves. Aw, you go, girls. You go. Don't need to be a princess to fix your car. And I will ignore him all day so he knows I am mad. What a nice, quiet day. The difference between men and women, right? I'm going to punish him by not talking to him. That tends to backfire. So you know, ladies, at the end of the day. I don't need flowers, candy, shopping sprees, or poems to make me. Love is waking up to an empty sink. Hear, hear. This is my favorite of the day because hell yeah, I love to wake up to a clean kitchen. Don't buy me flowers. Just do the damn dishes. That's all I ask. You guys know I've been gardening. Oh my gosh. I got to get the green beans in the ground. They're like huge. My amaryllises. I have two, I have one amaryllis that I got 10 years ago. Her name's Annie because I got her for her anniversary, and she's never bloomed. And now she's had like 8 babies. All of a sudden, they're all blooming. I think they're confused. They're supposed to bloom in the wintertime, but I'm just happy to see them blooming. So once they do start blooming, because they get the biggest, most gorgeous blooms on them, you definitely know I'll share some pictures for you guys. And I'm going to get out and do a video of the garden so you guys can see Trailer Park Garden, because I do that every year. Going out to mow this week when it finally is dry enough. Yeah, that keeps happening to us. Like, it rains. The grass is too wet. And then by the time you get out there to mow, all of the dandelions have gone to seed and the grass is up to your knees. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. Free plants. So this is how I die. Yeah, this is how I die for sure. I'm a fool for free plants. Give me free plants. Or just starts. Like almost everything I've got is started with starts. I thought this was a great idea. What do you think, Fred Edwards? Should we do this? Build a sunflower room. Now, I've got sunflower starts. I did the mammoths this year because Russian mammoths are the best. And I probably have like about 20 starts right now. I'm going to need more to do a sunflower room, but that would be hella cool. I'm thinking I need a sunflower room. We'll try one. And whistleblowers. I'm probably not going to read this article just for time. I think you guys already know about McBride sentenced to 5 years, 8 months. This is very, very sad. Whistleblower breaking. Vindictive judge has thrown the book at the man who revealed war crimes by the Australian military in Afghanistan. The judge said, so you thought you knew better than the Australian Defense Force? They are going to appeal this. He could be out on, what do they call it? It's going to be 2 years since he can even apply for parole on this one. So he's definitely going to do 2 years plus, but hopefully they'll appeal it. It sounds like, this is the same shit they do. This is what they fucking do. Australia, you guys are screaming to let Assange go, but then you do this to your own fucking whistleblowers? I love WikiLeaks. Yeah, we know, Trump. We know. Journalism is not a crime. No, it is not. The truth is not a crime. At the end of the day, the truth will always prevail. And in their entirety, in their entire history, WikiLeaks has not had to redact one single story as fake news. They have won every court case that challenged their info. Every single one. Not one popular media network can say that. Make the same claim. They absolutely can't. Okay, so screenshot that. That is Julian Assange's address in Belmarsh. Let's get him out a letter. Of course, we are waiting for May 20th, which will be the official hearing on if he has the right to appeal the extradition. And my prediction is they probably will give him the right to appeal. Doesn't mean he'll have the right to win the appeal, but that way they can stretch it out and go long for the U.S. election. I could be wrong, but I kind of feel like that's what they're going to do. They do not want Assange on U.S. soil for an election. They just don't. So I think they're going to throw the ball back and be like, okay, well, yeah, you can file, but you can't file on this and you can't file on that. And they're just going to deny it at the end anyway. So sadly, the Assange saga will continue for some more time. And it is Wednesday, which means get your Joey's coffee. I had Joey's coffee this morning. I had Joey's Nicaraguan this morning. Oh, so good. I had Guatemalan yesterday. I feel very spoiled. I got a bunch of Joey's coffee for my birthday. Thank you, Oz and Joey. And you can get Joey's coffee too if you haven't tried it. Reach out to Oz. He'll get you an order. Okay, guys, I am off to go meet my Dr. Fauci doctor. So, yeah, I got a new doctor. I've been trying to get a doctor for 10 years just for regular maintenance, right? And I finally land one, and he went to school under Fauci at the NIH. So I'm expecting him to tell me I need to get poked and some other horrible shit. So, yes, Steve Guy says 14-year perfect record. Fuck yeah. That's why we love WikiLeaks, right? And Trump, fuck off. Trump, I seriously think it's because of WikiLeaks that Trump got elected, and then he couldn't even fucking pardon Julian Assange. Fuck that piece of shit. Fuck him all the way. And no, we're not voting for him. So if you want to help me out, because, you know, help, I'm poor, there is my Buy Me a Coffee, my Venmo, my Cash App, and of course, my PayPal. Ooh, my PayPal. Okay, guys, so I am out of here. Oz and I will be back on Saturday. I'm super excited. Do you guys know I haven't had a face-to-face conversation with Oz in over 2 weeks now? I am feeling so lost. I feel so lost. So there's been like 3 times this week I was like, oh, I should just tell Oz to send me a link so we can catch up. But I wanted to give him a break. So I haven't had my sounding board. I miss you, Oz. God damn it. We got to get back to work. So Beauty and the Boomers Saturday night. Of course, Oz picked awesome music for us. Aw, the seagulls. Getting good with these cards, Oz. Oz is getting so good with these cards. Oh, it must not have been on. If I don't set it to manual, it keeps playing every time I click on the screen. So, yeah, join us Saturday night. We will be back in our seats and having a good time. We got lots to cover. I'm already working on that show, and I noticed Oz is already working on it too, so it'll be a good one. You guys, thanks so much for joining me. What else do I have to tell you? I got jury duty for my birthday. Very sweet of the county to give me jury duty. I'm expecting federal jury duty because normally they go hand in hand. So anyways, and I'm going to do a special show next week for my birthday. Of course, you guys know my 50th birthday is Friday, next Friday. So I'm going to do some kind of hangout, shout out to everybody who's been sending me birthday presents, birthday wishes, birthday cards, birthday donations. You name it, I've been getting it, and I feel the love. So thank you guys so much. Okay, remember, you are always welcome at the trailer park. I am out of here, and I will see you on Saturday night. This is an amazing song. Now, I brought one cover from this band, their band, but I brought you Jason Roberts before as an opener. You might recognize his voice, but you know what blows my mind? There was only like 20 likes on this, and it's been on YouTube for 5 years. Now, you tell me how a song so amazing like this one has had no views. He has 65 followers. So go follow. Go follow. What an amazing musician. Anyways, I'm out of here. I will see you guys later. Have a great rest of your week, and see you Saturday night.
feel like I feel someday. You may feel like I feel some way, but no, you'll never see the end of my world, my friend. No, you'll never see the end of my world, my friend, until the bitter end. Upon your head, the rain she calls me aloud by name. You may feel the wind it blows against your face. Walk a mile in my shoes, then complain, but no, you'll never see the end of my world, my friend. No, you'll never see the end of my world, my friend. No, you'll never see the end of my world, my friend. No, you'll never see the end of my world, my friend, until the bitter end.
Leave that baggage behind.